obviously people are going to feel the way they feel about the movie. If you'd listened to every influencer that was brought out to the premiere and stuff like that, you would have thought that this movie's going to hit $1 billion and, you know, stuff like that. And it came out and, you know, domestically, $120-ish million. Okay, an okay debut domestically. I don't think that that's like necessarily desperate. Oh my gosh, the worst thing ever. Could have had a little bit more than that, but internationally, I think there's reason to be very, very worried for Warner Brothers and for DC. But let's get into some of this stuff because I found it suspicious, Jeremy, when James Gunn's going out there. He's like, the idea that this movie needs to hit $700 million, it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't. It's really, you know, not that big of a deal if we, you know, don't even beat Man of Steel. And based on all of the money we've spent on this and all of the marketing, which is now continuing to be revised, it's funny how that works. Despite documents saying that this is what the budget is and people confirming that this is what the marketing budget is, all of a sudden, just like Disney, just like we've seen with DC movies before, they said, no, we actually didn't spend that much. We promise. Trust us. But then they said they'll celebrate if it hits $500 million worldwide for the launch of a new universe of a Superman movie. Kind of crazy.
On no planet is that a success. On none. It's just not. There's no way you can look at that and say, oh, yeah, they're releasing a Superman movie that's directed by the guy that's running the entire studio, and 500 million is okay. No, not with this budget, not with this marketing, not with the expectations, not with what they're following up with the Snyderverse and Man of Steel and the numbers Man of Steel made, over a decade ago, where your opening weekends, like you've broken down very well in your videos, Ryan, talking about how opening weekends used to be midnight on Thursday, you know, or maybe 10 p.m.
Midnight on
maybe
Friday. Yeah.
Or 10 p.m. on Thursday is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now it's like, you know, we're getting to the point where sometimes it's 2:00 on a Thursday. Sometimes it's Wednesday. This one was Tuesday with Prime, you know, Amazon Prime subscriptions. It's a completely different world. And for this to underperform against Man of Steel is a massive problem. And $500 million, if that's your bottom line, or if that's your success line, you're lying to everybody.
It's trying to manage expectations. It's PR spin. And, you know, obviously in the aftermath, James Gunn is like, thank you guys so much. We love the reception to this. It's so incredible. David Zaslav saying, we're so proud of this. And this is just the beginning. We've got so much more on the way. And people are like, well, look, the people in charge at Warner Brothers are saying they're really happy with it. It's like, well, yeah, Bob Iger came out after opening weekend of Thunderbolts was a massive disappointment and said, we're really proud of Thunderbolts. And this is the first step forward for the new Marvel. It's like we call those things out. We call it out when they try to tell us that $425 million is the break-even point for Captain America Brave New World. But for some reason, there's people really dedicated to not looking at the same scenarios and things like that for a movie like Superman.
And I liked Thunderbolts.
You did.
No one else really did, especially in this sphere. And it completely flopped. Was I crying saying, oh my God, I can't believe their people are being negative to be. No, people didn't like Thunderbolts. It's fine. And then if you go, the same people that are like super sensitive over Superman, they're like, well, look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oh, you mean the same one that has a higher fan score for Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Who cares what the fucking Rotten Tomatoes says? The numbers are the numbers. And the numbers were not good for Thunderbolts, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's why they went super desperate and tried to roll out the new Avengers marketing sooner than they probably wanted to, because the numbers were not as good as they, you know, wanted them to be. And now you see the heads of DC being super, super, super nice to the fans. Oh, man. It would have been nice if you guys wouldn't have made these political propaganda messages prior. And you can say that the media spun it or whatever. You decided to talk to the media. This is the media that you guys suck up to. You decided to talk to them, and you decided to let them spin your words and your narratives all over the place. And I think that's had a little bit of effect on the box office. Not a ton, but a little bit, just a tad.
I think it's had very little. And the reason I say that is because I think if we were going to see that have a big impact somewhere, it would probably be here. Instead, the place that it's suffering the most is everywhere else around the world, despite the fact that, you know, you intentionally do it without the American way. You intentionally change the marketing to like the human way in terms of the merchandising and everything like that. You're in a lot of your interviews, you're kind of stepping away from that. What it means to be an American means immigrants, like things like this. Yet everywhere else around the world, the movie is suffering. Jeremy, Shazam had a better international opening weekend than Superman did.
Oof.
Shazam, the first Shazam movie had a like $102 million international debut.
Wow.
Superman had around 95. Now, this global opening number of 217 million, that's the number. And look, if this had been under 200, if this had been 180 or something, I think then it's like 100%. Everyone should be like massive flop incoming. This is not great news. It doesn't mean it's the complete and total death of the movie as of yet. It could have a great run, whatever, but it should be concerning because that's ahead, you know, $30 million ahead of Captain America Brave New World, which didn't go on to do very much money. This is the thing that I can't believe there's not more people out there ringing like a panic alarm because of this. Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, a character that, you know, people, hey, I like those little movies in the MCU or whatever. This is an Ant-Man movie. Debuted at $225 million worldwide.
More than a Superman movie. That is crazy.
Yes. And it's not exactly like it when it came out, that was Marvel at peak Marvel or anything like that either. No. So to me, you should be really concerned with that. You got the Batman comparison, 250 in its worldwide debut. And then I think another good one to look at is Guardians, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which you loved, I thought it was fine. That had a similar opening weekend domestically, like 118 million compared to Superman's 122, 123. But internationally is the kicker. It made almost twice as much internationally in its opening weekend as Superman. You can see $170 million international, $290 million globally.
And Guardians had extremely good legs, which I do not think Superman will. It remains to be seen, but I do not see Superman having the legs that something like Guardians had. Guardians was incredibly well received, and because that was at a time when the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people were finally starting to realize that the MCU kind of sucks, and the Guardians opening weekend was pretty affected by the stain that was on the MCU. But once the word of mouth got out there, this movie ended up doing almost 850, 900, whatever, when it was all said and done.
Yeah, 850, I think. I believe that this movie will have a better hold than a lot of the recent comic book movies that have come out. You know, I think it'll have a better hold than things like Thunderbolts and Brave New World and stuff like that. I do think that. And I think because there's more people that did enjoy this movie than some of those, I also think that this is a movie that families and kids probably enjoy more than something like that. Like I couldn't imagine a kid liking Thunderbolts. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that kid? Maybe they're just super depressed and want to kill themselves too. Maybe like those are the only kids. So maybe kids on hormone replacement therapy. I don't know. But I do think that Superman will have better legs than something like that. However, few and far between are these movies like Guardians that leg out like that for a comic book movie. Certainly same director, James Gunn. But we'll see. And Fantastic Four is coming soon. And in some countries, Jurassic World Rebirth is massive competition for Superman. In Korea, in China, in a handful of places in Europe, Jurassic World beat Superman in its second weekend for Superman's opening weekend. F1 in its like fourth weekend or whatever in China beat Superman. So those international numbers should be very, very fucking worrisome. When you're just a notch above something like Black Adam and the Flash international debuts, you should be fucking worried.
Yeah, and the spin is already out there about this, like we've talked about with the studio, but I've even seen a lot of the fans coping on it too. And it's like, if the movie doesn't do well at the box office, it doesn't change your opinion of it. It has no effect. Again, I thought Thunderbolts was okay. It was fine. I think I gave it like a 68% on critic list or whatever. Like, it was fine. Like, I had very low expectations going into that movie. I only watched it because Gary forced me to put a gun to my head and threatened me because I didn't watch anything on
Put a James gun to your head.
Yeah, put a James gun to my head. So, but So I don't know why, like, people seem to think that they need this movie to do good at the box office for them to enjoy it, which is weird because it does seem to me that, I'm not saying everybody, okay, but I'm seeing a common theme that the people that enjoyed Superman tend to be emotionally weak men and women. That's who seems to love this movie. Just an observation I've made, and I can understand why emotionally weak men are enjoying an emotionally weak Superman. I totally get that. So, and of course, women are going to eat this up because it's got the stupid fucking crypto dog in it. That's all that's for. That's what I'm seeing from this movie right now. And so those same people need the box office to reflect their feelings. We need the box office to confirm my feelings, because if the box office is a flop, how can I justify liking this movie? It's weird.
It's like, look, I really like, not as much as, some of the previous installments, but I really enjoyed Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, and Final Reckoning, probably more than a lot of other people in our space did. Ultimately, every time I talk about those movies, I have to bring up the fact that the budget is completely and totally fucking out of control. And regardless of what excuse for COVID or whatever, like, the money is the money. I can like it, I can enjoy it, but it lost them hundreds of millions of dollars with the massive budget that they had for it. And it's just reality. It doesn't affect how I enjoy the movie. And ultimately, I don't care that Jeremy really hated it. I don't care if anybody else loves it. It is what it is. It's our opinions, or our opinions for a reason. But yeah, one of the weird things has been the whole it beat Man of Steel. That was a lie that fucking is just circulating everywhere in the aftermath of this.
Yeah, because Man of Steel did 128, right?
Yes. So, and it has a lot to do with people either intentionally or unintentionally putting the news out there. And it's all about how the box office is different now than it was 12 years ago. But 123 million is what it got called by the trades. I think Warner Brothers called 122. Maybe we'll get an update of what the actual numbers are during this stream. I don't know. But that's all it took. 123, best opening for a Superman movie, ahead of Man of Steel. James Gunn's Superman, best opening for a Superman first franchise installment, ahead of Man of Steel. And the reason there's so much focus on this is because it's part of the narrative, right? You made a decision to move away from what was planned for that universe. You tried to go this way and that way and this way and that way, and ultimately you settled on full reboot. James Gunn's in control. It is an important number for perspective and for like comparison. It's an important number for them publicly to hit, is higher than Man of Steel, because there's going to be a lot of backlash if you don't.
And I'm sorry, but the marketing for Man of Steel is some of the best marketing I've ever seen for a movie. I still say that the Man of Steel trailers are the best trailers ever. Trailer 3 in particular is a masterpiece. You had that incredible marketing campaign with Man of Steel, and it did okay. Opening weekend, it did fine, but the word of mouth wasn't strong for Man of Steel. It had a huge drop second week, all of that. I didn't like Man of Steel, but Man of Steel is a better movie than Superman 25. I'll stand by that. I don't even think it's close, to be honest. I think Man of Steel is far superior to Superman 25, actually. But
Zack Snyder lover, Jeremy.
Of course, big Snyder bro here. Even Piers Morgan said it, even though he said Sniper bro. Did you hear it? Like,
I didn't know.
I will say without a doubt, the Snyder bros out there are going to have a field day with this.
Well, let's find a sniper bro. Jeremy.
I'm definitely not a Snyder bro. Zack Snyder does not like me, and I don't like his movies, but
Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Games.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Jeremy from Geeks and Games, Sniper bro. That's what Piers said. But the word of mouth wasn't incredibly strong for Man of Steel. And I feel that the word of mouth is similar with Superman 25. However, the positivity that was out there from the Snyder fans was stronger, in my opinion, than that of the Superman 25 situation. So I think it's a great baseline to look at, and things are not looking good for this movie, especially with Fantastic Four coming out in a week and a half now. That's going to get the normies that like comic book movies as well. I think Fantastic Four looks pretty normie friendly for the most part. You have the most fascinating and successful leading man in the history of Hollywood, Pedro Pascal, leading the film. But overall, I had not seen the final trailer for Fantastic Four. That a lot of you guys said like it was a pretty good trailer, you know. So I did see it when I saw Superman, and it was a pretty good trailer. So I think that's gonna. They've got a week and a half, and I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and the reason that this is just like a lie, I'm not even talking about adjusted for inflation. I'm not talking about taking ticket prices into account, which I do think that those things are important for reference and things like that. I'm just talking about straight up. Man of Steel made $128 million in its opening weekend. And the reason, if you Google it or if something like that, it'll come up as like 116, is all about how we reported the Thursday previews back when they started doing Thursday previews. There's Man of Steel. Again, you can see made more internationally than domestically. I think that could be important in the long run here too. You look at that weekend box office. First weekend, $116 million. But the total gross after that was 128. Why is that? Because when they first started doing some of these Thursday previews, not all studios, not all movies counted the Thursday preview as part of their opening weekend number. Now it's commonplace. Now that happens every fucking time. Even if you do previews on Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever, they count that number in towards the opening weekend number like they did for Superman. Now they actually count that number in with what their opening day is. So you look at Superman 2025, just so everyone can see what this is, $22.5 million in previews. That then gets combined and added to the pure Friday opening day, which is around like 34 million, to get your $56 million Friday. And then you get your Saturday, then you get your Sunday for 122 million. Man of Steel, 116 million if you don't count the Thursday preview. Yeah, that is 128. So that's the thing. It did not actually beat Man of Steel, not adjusted for inflation.
Boom.
And those are just important reference points, and it's weird that every single DCU Superman news, DCU hype, they repeat the same things and people fall for them because it takes a little bit of knowledge and maybe even a little bit of checking sometimes to see what's going on.
And those are the details right there. And again, as a famous Man of Steel hater, Man of Steel is better than Superman 25. It is. And guess what else is better? Superman Returns is better as well. It just is. It's a better Superman movie. It's not even I don't even think this is a discussion, dude. I think these movies are so much better than Superman 25. Like, I don't even think it's close. Like, as a matter of fact, you can go over to like so I've got the critic list score because I think this is the most accurate place so you can get a feel for it. So I gave it a 30%. I gave it 30%. The overall audience score is at a 54%. So that's 187 votes. Now, again, to be clear, how critic list combines their score is different than Rotten Tomatoes. 54% is an average. So that means that the average score is a 54 out of 100. That's the average score that the users have given, 54%. And
like for reference on Rotten Tomatoes, say if every single person, all these 187 people, if they were actually giving it a 6, right? So we can actually like put it above that threshold. So there's no decimals. If they gave it a 6, it would be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know,
Man of Steel, which I think I gave like a 40% on this site.
Wow. Big one.
Yeah.
That's basically what I gave this movie, like right around there.
Man of Steel has a 67% on critic lists. There you go. So 67%. And then what does Superman Returns have? Do you have a guess for what Superman Returns has on critic lists?
48.
Look at there. 58%. Wow. 58% over there on critic lists. So you guys should check it out over there. You'll enjoy it. And the more people we get signed up over there, the better it's going to be to have these it kind of resembles a true score instead of like, you know, the bullshit with the shills. Dude, the amount of people that were flown out to review Superman 28 or 25 and that just praised it. So I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy for saying this movie's a piece of shit. Okay, I'm spreading toxicity and hate. Yet you got dumb motherfuckers saying this is better than Christopher Reeve's Superman, and apparently that's okay. It's okay to be overly ridiculously positive saying this movie's better than Christopher Reeve's Superman. First of all, you are a fucking retard if you're saying that. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But apparently it's okay to say dumb shit like that, but you can't say it's a piece of shit. You being too toxic. Fuck you. Sorry,
Yeah,
Ryan. I know you try to keep the show positive when I'm not here. I apologize, Ryan.
Always, me and Jay, it's always incredibly positive. You do hate the movie, even though our scores aren't that far off. You have a lot of disdain for the fucking movie. I guess more so than I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately we'll see what happens. Like the next couple days and the next weekend are going to be very important for Superman at the box office. This is not a $220 million opening global. That means it's a guaranteed fucking bomb right now. What it should be is very concerning because certainly you could have a great hold. You could have a great hold that could take off. It could do super well. A bunch of people, repeat viewings, like all that stuff. But when your movie opens less than Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, a notable massive fucking failure. When your movie opens lower than that, I feel like there should be more reality checks surrounding what that opening actually means. And you can make all the excuses you want about, well, it's a reboot of the new franchise. Like, okay, so is this back in the day? Well, it's they didn't really spend that money that they signed up. Really? So we give all these other people, we don't give all Disney and even Warner Brothers when they do it for the Flash. We don't give them passes for the lying about the budgets and trying to manipulate things and telling people, we promise if it hits $500 million, it'll totally be fine, bro. No problem. Like, we don't give all these other movies passes, even if we like them, like Mission Impossible. But for this one, there seems to be, it's Superman, man. It's DC. People are very passionate about these characters. They always have been. They always will be. And that's a good thing. That's fandom. But
I need my favorite movie to make money to confirm my feelings on the movie. That's essentially where we're at with it.
Depending on what type of movie you're going to, everybody has different expectations for it. For a person like just general audience member, fairly normie, whatever, you might walk into a comic book movie and your hope to get out of that is just a little bit of lightheartedness, some cool action shit, and just eat your popcorn and have fun. For me, like, I care about like the character of Superman. I care about DC Comics more than I care about Marvel. I have like a slightly different expectation and of what I'm asking for and what I want out of a comic book movie. Because I think Superman is a better movie, all in all, than Jurassic World Rebirth. But I enjoyed Jurassic World Rebirth a lot more because now at the 7th point in this franchise where it's just turned into MonsterVerse, like Godzilla vs. Kong type of movies where the people don't even fucking matter and they put no effort into making these people actual characters or caring about anything like that. I had much lower expectations going into it. And it pretty much was like, yeah, this is what I expected. Like those things are all going to affect how you feel about movies.
Yeah. Hey, they released a deleted scene from Superman 25. You ready to see it?
Yeah.
Here's the deleted scene right here. It's Jor-El. So he's oh no.
He's got that purple drink.
This is Jor-El right here. This is your dad, Superman. So
click on Mike's first tweet there. He actually had an interesting take. Donner's Jor-El. They can be great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason above all, their capacity for good, I have sent them you, my only son. Snyder's Jor-El. You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun, Cal. Gunn's Jor-El. I'm going to need you to smash as many Zambras as you can. Make a harem. Be the baby daddy I know you can be. Then run the table on them Earthlings.
And that's how we get to there, right there. Oh, man. Yeah, on my rewatch of Man of Steel, though, minus the obviously the issues I have with it, man, there's a lot of good in Man of Steel. There really is. And there always has been.
Russell Crowe's great.
The thing that the rewatch has done and the thing that Superman 25 has done is it's made me appreciate the things that I appreciated about it more, but the things that I hate about it, I still hate about it. You know what I mean? But I just appreciate the things that I liked about it more. Like everything, pretty much the first hour of the movie is fantastic outside of the Pa Kent moment. And everything on Krypton, the flashbacks, him growing up, struggles he's going through, all that stuff is great. I love it so much.